I don't know, to an extent, that reminds me of Johnny Depp. But Johnny Depp almost never did the same role twice.
Well, you know why?
He did one action. Don't mess with Johnny Depp. You want all these girls coming in here trolling on you?
We know why. We know why.
No, we don't. We don't want to get in that. We don't want that smoke.
You want Johnny Depp smoke? We put it on.
We don't want no Johnny Depp smoke.
On that.
We don't want no Johnny Depp smoke. We don't want it.
Watch crime TV or watch.
There's another side in Brooklyn where there's some people where you go at it, you go for the smoke, and then some point where you pack up your stuff and get out of there. When they're shooting at the block party, you move. When they shoot at the party, you run out of there. Get out of there. I want no smoke with the Johnny Depp people.
You crouch and run.
That's what I'm doing. I'm not getting that smoke.
Not only did Stan knew that, Stan also understood the inner workings of somebody's ownership. Because when Kirby decided to come up with his design for Spider-Man, and Ditko was like, "Hey, isn't that the Fly?" Yeah. Stan was like, "All right, this is done." He's like, I don't need Joe Simon running in here. He's like, "This is done."
He would have. Once he would have saw it, it would have been, it would have been basically go right to court. That's the thing. The guy is savvy. The guy is not someone that you play with. Because Rob Liefeld played with him. When he left Captain America, he made Agent America.
The Fighting American? That nonsense?
Before that, he came up with Agent America. It was all of his second.
He had something before that? Okay, all right.
Because he got sued. That's the thing. He tells a story about it. He kind of tries to say, well, then he made a deal with Joe Simon. But the fact that you totally, did took the costume of Fighting American and reversed the colors and said, "Here's Agent America." And he did an ash can, and then that's when Joe Simon came in and said, "Boom!" And he said, "Well, if I'll take this away if you do it as the Fighting American and pay me X amount of dollars. Yes, I'll do that." And they're like, "We're doing the Fighting American with Joe Simon. Yes, we got the great Joe Simon and and I got Stephen Platt and all this other guys." But that's the thing. When you brought up Fighting American, that was like Simon and Kirby saying, all right, they did the first issue was serious. And then they're like, all right, we can't really do this. It's the 50s. Captain America was even back during that period. And they kind of went to the humor thing, right? They did a satire using a superhero. Those Rob Liefeld books, they even had Jim Starlin write a 3-part series. I think Ed McGuinness is on with it. All of it is serious. All it is just the cap stories done as Fighting American. It's just like, why wouldn't you just say, let me throw out all those ideas and give them a fun sort of romp like the Fighting American was? They had the 2-header, the League of Distinguished Gentlemen. They had so much stuff in there. And he's like, nope, we're just doing all of our Captain America. We'll show Marvel. This is my I keep wanting to say second year. It was the second part of the year arc that he's going to do with Last thing he said in that this is a totally different episode. He said that Jake Gyllenhaal is going to be in the Prophet movie. Is that real?
I don't know.
You guys didn't hear this?
No, I did not hear that. So I could not tell you. I could not tell you if you did or not.
If he gets a Jake Gyllenhaal movie out before the Spawn movies, he's gonna go to the con and he's just gonna trash the rest of the Image guys. I did it. I got something bigger than The Walking Dead, bigger than Spawn.
Oh, you mean so we can get some more observations? We can get some more observations on Todd McFarlane and all of his failings? Okay.
Oh God, it's a Guy Ritchie thing? Please don't. No.
Why are you knocking? I don't get that.
No, you don't understand the Image guys.
Explain.
Look, when Todd has his success, when he was top dog, they just said, whatever, you got your thing. They're laughing at Jim Lee. Look at your Gen 13 book. It ain't a cartoon. It ain't come out. Look at you wasting all your money. Disney he did an observation saying that Disney shelved his cartoon, which okay. But then it's like pre was it Harley Quinn, like having the real sexy sort of stuff in there and smoking and all that stupidity. but it was all right cartoon. It wasn't terrible. I mean, it could have been better, but the thing is that they're constantly pointing out, hey, look at all of the suits that. Well, no, actually, it's one person. It's not really. It's not really the rest of. I think back in the '90s they were kind of publicly doing this, but now, how many times did Jim Lee ask Rob to come back to DC? It's been like he asked him to come back to New 52, asked him again, and then he asked him before Rob said the thing of DC's dead. They don't know what they're doing, that sort of thing. But he asked him,
why? I don't like. Well, I guess their relationship must be better than than I can imagine. Other than that, I'm like, why do you keep asking this guy to come back? It's not. I mean, what?
I have to get a better understanding of why you are so riled up.
I'm not riled up. I think he was
No, yeah. What's because you're saying riled up. So, I mean, because you're looking from the outside in right now.
Yeah.
So what is it that you tell me?
Oh.
Tell me what is it that you're seeing so we can address that, because that's anybody who's in your shoes is probably that's what we're going to be answering for. Why do we have our blood up and back up so much for this?
He's right.
Is that what
He's right about one
thing. You guys have gone over so much.
He's right about this. I did get riled up about this thing here.
Yes,
I got bothered by
it.
I did. I will say that. Everything else was comic stuff. We didn't say anything bad. I did say
because this is for me. This is something that I haven't. No. This is something I have enjoyed since I was a kid. Okay, and I still enjoy it to this day. And one of the things that is always irked, this is part of it. It's not all of it. But one of the things that's always irked me about, quote, comic collectors, close quote, or comic fans, and you could throw it in that same quote, you could throw it in that same quotation, it's like you don't care. It's like you say that you're here and you're reading all this stuff and you're digesting it and you buy, and at the end of the day, you really don't care unless it's popular, unless somebody else likes it. And then there's all this rich history. I'll never get the chance to meet Herman Melville. I'll never get the chance to meet William Shakespeare. Okay, I'll never get the chance to, meet any of these great poets or writers, any of these people that I've read. And I was like, wow, I really dig this. I wonder where his mind was at. But these guys who have created what I think is some really top-notch literature at the end of the day are right there. You can speak with them and they don't give a damn. They just don't give a damn at the end of the day, to the point where somebody else can influence them when all of this information is so readily accessible. And they made it readily accessible. And you've got the people who did it, who have come out and made it readily accessible and told the truth about all of these sequences that we're talking about. And then they still don't care unless it's on somebody's podcast. It's so frustrating and flabbergasting at the end of the day. We get to go and shake hands with Herman Melville. You can go right up to Larry Lieber and say, hey, did you create me on there? Like, yeah, I did. Would you like me to sign that?
Dude, we got to say we had to ask him for an interview, and then he said, why? I have to say, because you created all this stuff. He's like, oh yeah, I did.
Okay, so
we didn't get that interview.
But that is legitimate what you're saying right there, and I think that's pretty interesting. In that, when you look at it like that, most people don't categorize them as, hey, they think of these guys creating these characters, but stories that influence a lot of the culture that we have right now. I mean, especially the comic book culture. Everybody knows Superman. Everybody knows Batman. But there's other stories that are out there that are coming out. Moon Knight, a character that we haven't seen before. But
allow me just a second there. They think they know Superman. They think they know Batman.
Okay.
They really think that they do. If I sat down and gave these guys some stories to read, they would be really wow, I didn't realize, I had no idea. Most of these people, the Superman or Batman they know isn't from a comic book. It's from a movie or a TV show at the end of the day. And the real stuff is the stuff that you got to sit down, come on, you know this from the Star Wars expanded universe with all the books. All of the extra development and characterization that we got for those characters were in the books, not in the films, in the books. So if you really wanted to get to the nitty gritty, you got to take some time to sit down and actually read it. And then it's like, okay, you don't want to read it, that's fine. But then they still want to walk around like, well, I know these characters. No, you don't. You know the movie, but you don't know this character.
Got it.
I think when I got riled up about this, we did an episode on what other characters I would want to be made into movies, and I always look at, like, obviously he's going to these guys and saying I had the number one independent comic book selling more than some of the Marvel stuff, more than Captain America, more than this, and they look at it.
Eric Larson?
No, the Youngblood, with Youngblood, talking about that, because he said that in observation, he said that'd be his pitch. He'd go there and say, "Hey, you see this? But this thing's selling."
How many people could say that at that time period because of all that speculation? Billy Tucci can say that. Eric Larson can say that. Okay, come on. That was that time period. Yeah, you had stuff like the Chromium Man. That rubbish that was selling. Come on.
Well, I think that's why I keep looking at it and saying, well, this ultimately, outside of me saying I would rather, the characters, the independent characters that I liked turn into a movie, at the same time, I know that as far as image creators, because the rest of them are, they're not to say they're adults, but they're got families. They're not into the comic book stuff. They might even say, like, when they interviewed, they talked about Byrne, and they had Todd McFarlane say something about Byrne. He's like, oh yeah, I just want to ink something to Burns, this, that, and the other. He's not interested in getting into a whole big thing anymore. Nobody is. All of them has kind of moved on. And Rob is like, I got this cult of personality. I got these people. I'm talking about this stuff. So this would be the new buzz to be like Spawn cartoon. You're out of here. I got, because that's the top of the image. Walking Dead. So it'd be the tough thing to be like, he has this thing, and then he turns into, go take that, Walking Dead. So that sort of thing. But will they do, that's the question, going back to this, will they be doing the Prophet that everybody talks about? Like the series done by those other guys that everyone says it's like the most brilliant image thing ever? Like, people still, whenever I joke about Prophet, then people like jump in and say, no, the Prophet after that. Not the Stephen Platt stuff, the stuff that came after with I forget the writer that did it. But I guess it was a buzz between the people who remember the couple of good things like Supreme and Prophet. Those are like the two things that people bring up, and then Walking Dead, as these are the things when I bring up, like, stuff I like from Image, and it's more than that. Because that's what I was saying. One of those things I talk about Image, they were kind of like, hey, they had this and that, and I point out, no, this isn't just me tearing down Image. I like this, and this. I just thought it could be bigger. I thought they could stick with their characters and draw them themselves, not just say, oh, I got a hit in Prophet, let me put Stephen Platt on it. Okay, I got a hit in this, let me put Eric Stevenson on Youngblood now. It's like, this was your baby. This was the number one comic, and you left. So that kind of thing. But this kind of be bragging rights. If this actually happens with Guy Ritchie and Jake Gyllenhaal, this is...
Well, it has a good chance of doing. Guy Ritchie has had quite a few movies come out. He's been successful in quite a few things, and he has a pretty strong following. So it's probably going to come out. But my thing is that you guys are upset about this one particular movie. My thing is, like, why the Prophet of all the other stuff? I guess because you have the ability to, I always say when they do these things with newer movies and use these other characters, like they're not as well known, is because they want more freedom to do more with the characters or more with the story, as opposed to those who've read, you can't do much with Superman. He's pretty boxed in. You can't do, Batman has been able to do a lot of different things.
And I threw in the Jake Gyllenhaal thing, which if they get it done and it's successful, it's a Jake Gyllenhaal thing, so they're probably gonna have some, this is not gonna be, because he does like a lot of theater and all this other stuff, so this is gonna be his action romp, his Mysterio 2.0, but he doesn't have to wear the fishbowl on his head. So,
but this is we're digressing. But my thing is, Jake Gyllenhaal is a very popular actor, well known. It's like, to me, sometimes he just seems to choose characters because he wants more freedom to do stuff. Like, he did Mysterio, but I can see him in the
what are you trying to say? I don't know why to quit you. That's what you're talking about.
I'm just trying
a
to
movie on the mountain. That's what you're talking about, aren't you?
say why.
Oh Lord,
A guy
please
like
don't
this
bring that movie
got to
up.
be on a
Please
short
don't bring
list.
that movie up.
He has to be on a short list for MCU movies as a major character or DCEU characters. But it's like he always just never goes to the top. Get what I'm saying?
What do you mean goes to the top?
Like he's not. Why couldn't he be the new?
He turned down Spider-Man years ago, man.
But that's what I'm trying to say. I think is that he's the type of guy who's content with what he has, but he wants a much more varied character. Like why he doesn't want to do something that's.
You mean he doesn't? You mean he doesn't want to be typecast?
Dude, he can greenlight a movie. If he says yes, the movie's done.
Is that what you're saying though? You feel that he doesn't want to be. Is that what you're saying? That you feel he doesn't want to be typecast?
Well, typecast, probably that's the word I'm looking for. I'm saying he doesn't want to be locked in. Possibly that's it. Not typecast.
Maybe so.
Where a lot of this stuff is more, he's put into a box and it's not the character itself, but he's locked in. And he because he does a lot of stuff. Like you said before, he does theater, and he could be and you see he has a bigger range, and probably to him that's a much more satisfying expression for him as opposed to doing a CGI movie where it's you, the green screen, and the creations that come at you. You know, I mean, he is rich. They all are. So that's my take. I thought he would have been a good Captain America. You know, he would have been a good Johnny Storm.
I mean, I saw, what was this movie that he was in? He was the boxer in this movie. I can't remember the title.
Oh yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. To an extent, that reminds me of Johnny Depp. But Johnny Depp almost never did the same role twice.
Well, you know why?
He did one action. He did one action. Don't mess with Johnny Depp. You want all these girls coming in here trolling on you?
We know why. We know why.
No, we don't. We don't want to get in that. We don't want that smoke.
You want Johnny Depp smoke? We put it on.
We don't want no Johnny Depp smoke.
On that.
We don't want no Johnny Depp smoke. We don't
watch crime TV or watch.
Like there's another side in Brooklyn where there's some people where you go at it, you go for the smoke, and then some point where you pack up your stuff and get out of there. When they're shooting at the block party, you move. When they shoot at the party, you run out of there. Get out of there! I want no smoke with the Johnny Depp people.
You crouch and run.
That's what I'm doing. I'm not getting that smoke.
I'm just bringing it up.
I looked at Johnny Depp's career,
and he still continue with Johnny Depp. If you want to bring Johnny Depp into this, bro, we can bring everything into it. Okay. You know,
I think this can correlate with Jake Gyllenhaal, where Johnny Depp. I looked at his career, and Johnny Depp could have went the conventional route and would have been this really big star in the conventional manner, but he always seemed to like he would do something like Cry Baby. Then he was doing Edward Scissorhands. Then he's doing some action. Then he's doing an action movie. The big culmination is Pirates of the Caribbean. He just seemed like he didn't want to do the same thing twice.
Well,
so we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yeah, we're basically there's no money in Jake Gyllenhaal becoming the Blue Devil, which his character looks like he definitely looks a lot like the character from that. But at the same time, I can't say that Jake Gyllenhaal looks like Prophet, but he does have the same hair color. So, decent height, same hair color and in shape. So there you go.
Get a wig. That's all I gotta say.
He's supposed to, like Prophet is like Arnold or any one of those Arnold's stuntmen, that type of deal.
He could have been Doctor Strange, who would have killed it. He could have been Mark Spector, could have killed it. He could have been
Mark Spector's pretty good. I like that one. That was really good.
He could have been, I don't know if he could have pulled off the current Tony Stark the way it is, but he could have done Tony Stark. He could have done
good ones.
He could have done there's so much stuff, and now that the X-Men universe
Forge isn't big enough. I like it, but Forge isn't big enough.
As the X-Men universe is coming, there's so many characters. The X-Men have like 59,955 characters. There's one he can pick. He could be Gambit for all we can. I see him as a better Gambit than the dude from what's the name of that movie that just came out with the little dog on it, Lost City, with him and Sandra. I know you guys know who I'm talking about, man. Because I know you guys watch Magic Mike. I didn't want to say it, but now you got me saying it.
Channing Tatum?
Okay? Yeah, I think he would have been a much better Gambit. He has the ability to do it.
He could be one of the lead DC characters. They decided to do Hal Jordan. They do Hal Jordan. They could do the other one. They can make him into Kyle Rayner if they wanted to. Nobody cares what Kyle looks like.
They could make him in the Flash. Get rid of Ezra.
Well, this is the thing. He basically had the red carpet we pulled out for him, and he just, he decided to say yes for what's the name for
Spider-Man.
For Mysterio, whereas he almost was the Iron Man in the Spider-Man thing, but the twist of him being a bad guy. If you didn't know the character, then it was a twist.
So hey, is there anything else about Kyle?
Nah, I think we're good.
All right, hey, so thank you everybody for listening. If you like what you hear, give us a thumbs up. Okay, comment. There's got to be a lot of comments. Don't listen to the last 5 minutes. Spinner rack.
Out. Don't listen to the last 5 minutes. What? Because we didn't want that smoke.